members of family who are in such grief, who are in pain, to see it in a mother's eyes as I held her, who lost her entire family. Jesus. It's hard to fathom what they're going through.
City and state leaders tonight pledging support for the victims of this deadly fire.
My whole house is nothing but black.
Sixth-floor resident Nikia Gonzalez says there were a few minutes that she thought she was going to die. Her sixth-floor apartment in 333 East 181st Street was filled with smoke when a fire started on the third floor of the 19-story Bronx building this morning.
Once the fire department got there and they was able to get us out, they said, follow the stairs until you see light.
She is one of the lucky ones. Dozens were taken out of the building with life-threatening injuries. Stretcher after stretcher, emergency workers performed CPR.
This smoke extended the entire height of the building, completely unusual. Members found victims on every floor in stairwells, and we're taking them out in cardiac and respiratory arrest.
As the death toll rises, the mayor is calling this one of the worst fires in recent New York City history.
The impact of this fire is going to really bring a level of just pain and despair in our city. The numbers are horrific.
Witnesses say smoke and fire quickly moved through the building, and desperate residents waved towels out of their windows and screamed for help.
They were also bringing people down the ladder that was unconscious. You could tell, looked like the smoke got them. 7
people have died, 3 are missing, and 27 more are injured after a giant rock formation crashed onto boats in a Brazilian lake. Officials are scrambling to identify the missing, with bad weather hampering search efforts. And a warning, some of this vision may be distressing.
A boat full of tourists desperately trying to signal for attention as they spot rocks sliding down the cliff face. A towering slab slices away and plummets into the water below, hitting 4 boats carrying at least 34 people. Captured from multiple angles, sending a wall of water like a bomb blast in the canyon. We are doing our search work on the surface of the water, in the water with the divers. The investigative work will continue. The remains of the boats below now barely recognisable, officials confirming they are still trying to figure out the identities of some of the missing. The Navy launching an investigation. Furnas Lake, 420 kilometres north of Sao Paulo, is a popular area for tourists. The towering 20-metre high cliffs composed of sedentary rock, making them more susceptible to bad weather. Locals questioning why these holidaymakers were sailing so close to them, given recent heavy rains in the area, already resulting in rock slides, submerging nearby towns, leaving hundreds of residents homeless. Alison Petrowski, 9 News.
हंगामी बुनियादों पर हमने एफसी और रेंजर्स को भी तलब कर लिया। कोई 1000 गाड़ियां अभी रात की फंसी हुई हैं। सारी रावलपिंडी और इस्लामाबाद की इंतजामिया लगी हुई है। कुछ को हमने निकाल लिया है, कुछ को वापस किया है और इलाके के लोगों ने कंबल वगैरह और खुराक भी पहुंचाई है। अब सिर्फ हम खुराक और कंबल ले जाने वाली गाड़ियों को मरी की तरफ जाने की इजाजत दे रहे हैं या कोई बहुत बड़ी इमरजेंसी हो।
Erica? Christina Rafini, thank you. The year has gotten off to a very bad start in Kazakhstan. It began with a sudden and steep increase in the cost of fuel, sparking deadly protests and an official shoot-to-kill order. CBS's Imtiaz Tayeb has the details.
This is a nation on the brink. What started earlier this week as a peaceful protest against a sudden hike in fuel prices rapidly escalated into a full-blown uprising. Thousands of Kazakhs filled the streets of the capital Almaty, attacking government buildings and demanding an end to over 3 decades of oppressive one-party rule. State security forces fired stun grenades and tear gas to try and disperse the crowd, with President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev later appearing on state TV to accuse demonstrators of being foreign-backed terrorists and ordered troops to, quote, shoot to kill without warning. Kazakh media have reported that at least 18 security personnel have been killed in the unrest and around 25 demonstrators. But that number is likely much higher, with this woman saying, it's really scary. We feel we have no protection. Across Almaty, and the still smoldering signs of unrest can be seen across the city center as a Russian-led alliance of former Soviet nations mobilized thousands of troops at the request of the Kazakh government. The crisis comes at a complex time for Moscow. It's already sent tens of thousands of troops to multiple borders with Ukraine in recent months, stoking fears it could soon invade. But the unrest in Almaty could see Russia drawn into an entirely different conflict, one not of its choosing.
Now, in a statement, the Kremlin said President Vladimir Putin had a, quote, lengthy phone call with Tokayev, who gave him assurances the situation was stabilizing. The question now.
Is saying that a 4th dose of its vaccine could be needed. Moderna's CEO says those who got 2 doses of their shot and a booster may still need a 4th one by the fall. And just in, the FDA amended the emergency use authorization for the Moderna COVID booster. It's now recommended to get that first booster within 6 months of getting your 2nd shot.